this real quick. So as I said today we're going over North America 2.05, human impact on the environment, and 2.06, immigration into North America. Here are our unit objectives that we've gone over from the very beginning, starting off with the Great Lakes, which we learned in the first one. Talking about today, well, last time we talked a little bit about push and pull factors and why people are trying to get out of more of southern North America, which is Mexico mostly. And we're going to talk more about that today. But the first thing we're going to talk about is the human's impact on environment. One thing about North America, particularly the United States, is we use more fuel or oil products than any other country. And so that somewhat affects what's going on. So we have been looking at renewable energy for a very, very long time. And also, so as you can see right here on this picture to the left, we have windmills that generate energy. We've also tried to make, because of all of our travels, it seems that I believe there is, per household, there's 2.5 cars per household in Utah, and there's more and more on other places as well. In other countries, so other households in the United States. So we create a whole lot of pollution that's going on, and as you can see, what pollution kind of does to the environment over here on the far slide. But as you can see, the United States is very, very populated. So I thought these two maps were very interesting that I wanted to show you. With cities larger than 15,000 people, if you look in Utah over here, you can see my cursor that's highlighted up and down the Wasatch Front, and then you have St. George down there that are the main cities in Utah. But most of everywhere else, they are located along the coast, okay? And that means right where the ocean is. And that's because there's more of abundance of food, and where everybody kind of lives is in that area. If you look right here, as I talked about cars before, and how there's like 2.5 cars for every household, you have, as you can see, the national highways that are running through all of these different areas. All through the United States, and so we use vehicles a lot for transportation just because we're so vast and big. You know, other places, they don't even use vehicles or anything like that. Alright, so let's do a poll question real quick. Central to geography is the belief that there is no pattern, regulatorily, or reason to locate a physical and human phenomenon on Earth's surface. Is that true or is that false? I'll give you a second to think about that. So talking about there's no pattern of where people live is basically what that's saying. And I just mentioned that just a second ago. And the correct answer is false. No, there's plenty of phenomena, and that is they live more by the coast. And then also one of the things by the coast as well is it makes it more temperate. So in climate, so it's not really cold, it's not really hot in those areas by the ocean. So that is some things there. I did already talk about this a little bit moving forward, but you can kind of see this is another graph that they'll show you in your as you're going through your work. But you can kind of see the ranching and grazing areas, which are in the stars of the manufacturing and trade, which we don't have a lot of anymore. No widespread use. You can kind of see like Arizona has a lot of that because it's desert. Crops and livestock. You have that breadbasket area over here in the Midwest, and then also some California. They have some really good growing areas in California. And then forest products, you can see, are where those are. So that's some natural resources that we have, and we use those to the best of our advantage. Okay, let's do another poll question real quick. What is the unintended consequence of urban growth? Now, urban means city. Then you have suburban, which is outside the city, and then you have um, rural, which is like the country, farming, that kind of stuff. So the unintended consequences of being in the city, having it grow so big, would it be A, cities to further separate the haves and the have-nots, or cities isolate certain groups of people from adequate resources, cities are unavailable to provide for the needs of all people, or cities create their own microclimates and produce large amounts of solid waste and smog and sewage. Okay, let's think about that for a second. And the correct answer is actually D, which they actually create their own microclimate. They has large amounts of waste and smog and that kind of stuff and sewage that they go along there. So something to think about in large cities. You don't have any place for all that waste to go. Okay, let's jump in to 2.06, and then we're going to be talking about your project for this unit. There's three terms I want to talk about. One is, and we're going to be talking about the immigration in North America, and this is something that's going to continue on this thing as we're talking about Central America and South America, and we're moving forward. So, an immigrant is a person who leaves one country to settle permanently in another after being granted permission to do so by the government. An illegal immigrant is an alien, and that is your secret word, as you can see at the bottom, so you want to keep that for your exit ticket. So secret word is alien. Is a non-citizen who has entered the United States without government permission or stays beyond their terminated date of their visa. The person is sometimes referred to as an undocumented immigrant. Undocumented immigrants are also aliens, and so basically those are synonymous with each other, so it basically means the same. So let's go over what your project is. Okay, step one for your project is you need to either choose to research one of two countries, either Mexico or Canada. Okay, so Mexico or Canada. As soon as you've done that, you can go to step two. Step two is you are either going to use PowerPoint, Google Slides, Prezi, or some other method like that. Okay. Note that you should have 5 slides, like an introduction slide of your country, the name of the country that you researched. 2 through 4 slides should include 3 questions that I'll have below, and slide 5 should be your references. Okay. So step 3 is you go to what we just did in our last live class. We go to onlinelibrary.uan.org to research on that country and that topic. So remember, the username is online, the password is reader. Do not use Google or Wikipedia for this. Okay, I want you to use research-based things, which you can find at that website. Okay, step 4. Here are your questions. So you need to choose at least 3 questions. So basically, you have your first slide, which is your introduction, saying immigration from Mexico. Okay, then you pick 3 of these questions, and that will be the title of it, and you need to answer those questions in the slide. I do like pictures, just so you know. So maybe you want to embed some pictures in there. That would be good. So you can kind of look at those and see how those work for you, and then you submit it to me. Okay. All right.